Now, I've got some things to say about this scout rifle. We are, of course, talking about the Pinnacle Weapon from the Vanguard, the Oxygen SR3, aka Hung Jury 2.0. Now, this scout rifle is like a wet dream to scout rifle users afar, and I'm pretty sure most of you who are fan of scout rifles have been looking forward to this one. And I don't blame you, because it's got some pretty juicy stuff on it, or so it seemed on paper. Now, let's roll through these perks real quick, guys. Right off the bat, this is a precision frame scout rifle, meaning it shoots at 180 rounds per minute, and it's very vertical. For the most part, guys, super manageable. If there's something you could take away from all 180 round per minute scout rifles, they're scout rifles on training wheels. They do well in both PvE and in PvP, and some would even say it is the better archetype for PvE, and I would probably agree with that. Now, barrel perks, it comes with polygonal rifling, which increases that stability, as well as optimizing that recoil. The magazine perk here is accurate rounds, which is kind of like whatever. I can't tell you how many times I've been in situations where I'm like, damn, this scout rifle needs some more range. But yeah, they gave us some more range here. Now, the first trait here is Dragonfly. Precision kills create an elemental damage explosion. Now, this is a solar weapon, so the elemental damage explosion that you're going to see is, of course, a solar explosion. If I could give you a good visual comparison, I would say it's on the same level as like a fart of a mortar explosion. You know what I mean? Like, not exactly the mortar explosion itself, just a fart in the wind. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't pack a punch. Obviously, it does. I'm just saying from a solar perspective, visually, it's just not that impressive. Now, the trait that makes this weapon a pinnacle weapon is Maegan Aura, which is like an extinct dragonfly. But this perk states that Dragonfly deals more damage based on the number of precision hits dealt to the target beforehand. Now, this stacks up to 3 times, and in doing so, when you actually land the precision kill, sets off a ginormous explosion. No, again, like I said, fart in the wind. That's all you're gonna get with this weapon for the most part, unless you slap on a Dragonfly spec. Now, this is a mod brought to us in Black Armory. It increases the radius and damage of Dragonfly. Now, I'm not sure how much it increases the damage. I thought it was only supposed to increase the radius. Regardless, though, it's supposed to make Dragonfly, and in this situation, Maegan Aura, even more lethal. Here's the issue, guys. Oxygen SR3 is actually a good feeling scout rifle. All BS aside, it handles very well. It takes me back to D1. The sights, the look, the feel. I love scout rifles back in Destiny 1, and I still like them here in Destiny 2. But there's 2 things that are punishing this weapon. Number 1, I felt like the traits, considering that this is a Pinnacle Vanguard weapon, was just lacking. The fact that we've had 2 back-to-back Pinnacle weapons from the Vanguard that have been presented to us on the pretense of explosions really bums me out. Okay, I'm just saying, I love Loaded Question. It was a fantastic fusion rifle. I thought it put off some pretty decent explosions. It got me through Black Armory forges, okay? But hot damn, enough with the explosions. Let us move on to something better. Maybe Maegan Aura could have actually spawned a flaming freaking dragonfly, okay? That chased down enemies and exploded. Now, I know that sounds a little crazy. All I'm trying to get to is that Oxygen SR3 has the feel, but the traits themselves just doesn't do it justice. And the fact that I have to slap on a Dragonfly spec to even make this weapon feel somewhat powerful really bums me out. Because by default, it should have the radius that Dragonfly spec even presents to us. And then once we actually apply that mod, it just gets absolutely insane and crazy. That's what I was hoping for. Now, that's not to say it doesn't have the damage. Error actually ran the numbers on it. Oxygen actually can get up to like 3 times the damage value. Somewhere like 180% of its original damage values once stacking Maegan Aura. So of course, anything within that radius of whatever you just killed is gonna get slapped. The problem is having some adds within that radius. Now, the second thing I didn't like about it, and this was really from a PvP perspective, and I get this is the Vanguard Pinnacle Weapon, and a lot of people say, oh, it's the Vanguard weapon, you shouldn't bring it up in a PvP. But I love it when a PvE weapon can be a boss of a gun inside of PvP. And this one could have been it if it would have been brought to us as a 150 round per minute scout. If this weapon would have been a 150, we could have had a nice, stable, beautifully handling scout rifle that could kill guardians in 0.8 seconds rather than 1 second. Another thing I didn't like was that if you actually hit someone with the full force of Maegan Aura, it only does like 148 damage. Now, of course, I didn't go into private matches. I didn't get to test this out, but in my matches, from a practical standpoint, Maegan Aura just didn't make all that big of a difference. It would have been nice if Bungie allowed the scout rifle, when actually having 3 stacks of Maegan Aura, to one-shot kill people within that radius. Yeah, I know it's nasty. That sounds disgusting. But considering how many nasty and disgusting things we have inside of Crucible already, I think this would have been completely acceptable. Overall, guys, Oxygen SR3, it's a weapon to pick up just to pick up. You'll probably use it for a little bit. If you like explosions, I don't know. To me, I just felt like the explosions wasn't even on par with Loaded Question. Now, granted, the damage values were really good, considering that it is a primary weapon instead of a special, but I was just hoping for more. So guys, that is Oxygen SR3. Again, this is the Vanguard Pinnacle Weapon that you can pick up from Zavala at the tower. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.